and Boolean operations that assemble the selectors. And here, with these two instructions, we extend the selector. We just simply OR this, do this operation here. The code selector from here and extend it from all the memory, only with this OR. So we found where the descriptor table is in memory. We assemble the selector, and with this instruction, we extend both selectors here. This code works. You say, why I torturing you with this strange code? It's because this code is independent of the operative system. It works in every operative system because we didn't call anything here. Every operative system that implements a protection using selectors, modern operating system implement protection uses selectors and another characteristic of the Pentium. OpenBSD use a lot of other protection, but not in the Pentium 32 bits. In the Pentium 32 bits, it only uses selectors. That is because OpenBSD got this kind of protection even in very old processors. So, in this code, we just simply unprotect all the user space. This code works in everything. It should work in Linux and a lot of places. And, okay, we are executing code in the stack. But there is a catch. OpenBSD will not let us to execute code in the stack forever because in the next context switch, it will restore the selectors because the selectors are restored every context switch. So we must find a place on the memory to safely execute our code because we are running on time. In the next few milliseconds, OpenBSD will make a context switch and our code will crash because the section of the memory that we were executing into will suddenly not be executable anymore. But there are two ways to do it, to find a portion of the memory that is executable. So, Hey, come on. One of the procedures is to shut down WXORX from user mode. This can be made using a system call. Again, we are now in user mode, so we can't call any system call. We use a system call that is called mprotect. This system call is used to change the protection of the memory. It's totally legal to make a call to make this call. So we are executing the stack and make unprotect of the portion of the memory that we are into. So we unprotect. We unprotect the stack using this function call, and then of course we need to. We know we can't execute forever, but it will be nice that the process that we take over to continue to execute normally, because the process might be important, might be like I was saying, might be a web server process. We did not want the server to stop responding, so we must fork the process, and this system call we call the process of fork, and to make like a clone of the process, in one of the forked process, we continue to execute our shellcode, and in the other, the original process, we just fixed the return address. We know that the original return address, and the process continued to run perfectly. So we now have the process that we have taken over. It continued to execute normally, but we now got a forked process that is executing our shellcode, and is executing our shellcode in a region of memory that is unprotected forever. So the shellcode is executing here forever. There is another way to do it. This is the much easier way. We can call this mprotect in every place of the memory. We can unprotect the stack. It's a little weird, but we could do it. In fact, we didn't use this technique. We used this one. It's a little different. we just ask the operating system for a region of the memory that is always executable and writable. OpenBSD can do that, even if it has the WX or X protection. We can ask the operating system for a region of memory that it really didn't have the protection. So we just ask the operating system for a small portion of memory that got that privileges. We copy the shellcode from the stack from the stack to there. So we jump there, and we are not longer executing the stack. Of course, nice. So we are not executing the stack, and the process is running now in a safely place of the memory forever. Anyway, we must fork the same way, because if not, the process will break. So we choose this scenario to work. Here is a screenshot of the OpenBSD kernel. OpenBSD system, is a terminal. You can see there that the process has stopped here, has not crashed, but stopped because we placed a breakpoint in the shellcode. A breakpoint like it was in user mode. The OpenBSD system got a very nice debugger. It's called, DDB. And we can see here all the stack trace where the system has stopped. That if we continue to execute the kernel continues to execute perfectly. We stop it and we quit executing. Okay, I'm gonna give a live demonstration if I can. Let's see, it's a little difficult. This can fail, of course, like every live demonstration. Let's see. Oh. I work in VMware. I'm going to start OpenBSD virtual machine and send the exploit to that virtual machine. I think I'm missing a 4. There it is. I hope the resolution is not very big. Right. Okay, you just keep running. And I'm going to send the attack from a Linux. This is exactly the same image that I used to send the exploit, to develop the exploit. Here is, you can see the little faster and everything. So, we're going to run. No, this is not. I don't see very well. I think it's okay. From this virtual machine, we're going to send the attack to this another virtual machine. Okay, this is OpenBSD is checking the file system. So here is. We can see it. Here is the little fuzzer that I was using. It's made in Python. It's very primitive, like you can see. I just put the byte together. This is the shellcode, this is the packet. And I put the byte together, byte from byte, and assemble the shellcode here. We can see that here is a CC code. This is an interruption tree in assembler. So theoretically, when the code will be executing this code, we will stop right here. Let's see if this happens. Let's see if OpenBSD is finished. Right. We'll just send the attack. Here are sending. And here we can see that the OpenBSD kernel has stopped exactly in the same time. It's not crashed, we can see. It just stopped. We can see using the debugger. Let's see how it was. Here. This is our shellcode. We can see there is a call, a pop, and an add. And here we got this instruction. This is a call, this is a pop, and this is an add. So we're seeing this part of the code exactly here. Oh, come on. Now, the kernel is stopped. Every process is stopped, but it's not broken, because if we give a continuum, we continue to execute perfectly. And now, there is an invisible system called hook in this kernel. In fact, maybe if we leave this kernel working for an hour or two, this will crash, because this is a very early version of the exploit that did not fix the MBUF buffers. But now we can see that our interruption hooked. If we place this system, this breakpoint in the hook, you can see here, because we place this breakpoint in the hook, it will stop every time a system call is made. Oh, I'm just trying to manage this thing. And of course, here we will put a knob instruction. Now we have changed. Oh, come on, save it. Oh, there it is. We must change the attack to stop in every. Where's the root? Oh, now we must fire a different attack on here. We must stop in the OpenBSD on every system call. Well, meanwhile, I can show you another interesting thing, another very interesting thing that was found. This thing. This was a very famous bug because it was the second. But there are, looking about in the patches, we can see that there is maybe a third remote vulnerability, because we can see that the code here use this variable as an initialized variable. This is a simple patch that I was looking in the same way. I was looking for another vulnerability, and I found this little code here. Oh, sorry. That is an initialized variable fixed, like 3 months ago. This caused first of all, it's a denial of service, but I think that is exploitable too by the right people. Not me, but some very good people, I'm sure, that can exploit this. It's not very important because it was present on the trunk of the kernel only a couple of months. Nobody download this, but it's advice that is very important to keep an eye of every patch, and every bug can be exploitable. So it's not software is perfect. Like it was the ending phrase of this presentation. So well, I think I really didn't have any more time. So, but trust me that the live presentation that I was making is gonna work. If you want, I'm gonna show to any of you. Okay, that is all. This was one of the exploits. I would like to go to another. I think there is another presentation talking about this same exploit. It's made for the kernel wars guys, and I would like to see how they made exactly this exploit. I recommend you to go to that presentation. They are making